What will happen to you if you take a loan from a bank to buy a top-tier gaming computer and from day one you decide that you are simply never going to pay it back? At first, you feel like an absolute genius. You bring home this massive box, set up the monitors, and dive into games on ultra settings thinking you just outsmarted the entire financial system. You genuinely believe that if you just delete the banking app, the debt will magically disappear, and for the first 30 days it actually feels exactly like that. But this is where the perspective shifts from your bedroom to the massive corporate machine, because banks do not operate on emotions, they operate on complex risk management algorithms. On day 31, your account automatically enters a status called delinquency, which is a professional term, meaning you have officially broken the credit agreement for general understanding in countries like the United Arab Emirates. Intentionally dodging a bank loan at this exact stage could already land you straight in a prison cell. But in Western systems, the bank prefers to play the long game. The bank's algorithm starts automatically applying late fees and compounding interest, actively inflating your original debt while sending you polite automated warnings. But you ignore them and keep playing your games thinking you are winning. What you do not realize is that around the 180-day mark, the bank does something called a charge-off. A charge-off does not mean you are magically forgiven. It simply means the bank has legally classified your debt as a loss for tax purposes, and they are completely done dealing with you directly. This is where the secondary market steps in, and the bank sells your debt bundle to a third-party collection agency for literally pennies on the dollar. Collection agencies are basically corporate bounty hunters who buy bad debt at a massive discount and keep whatever they can squeeze out of you as pure profit. You might think you are totally anonymous sitting in your room, but these agencies use a professional tactic called skip tracing. Skip tracing is the systematic process of using massive digital databases, credit bureaus, and public records to track down a debtor's exact location and social connections. This means they do not just have your phone number, they have the direct numbers of your parents, your employer, and even your landlord. They begin a calculated campaign of psychological pressure, constantly calling everyone around you, legally exposing your financial failure to your entire social circle. But because you still think you are untouchable, you block the numbers and continue to ignore the real world. When a collection agency realizes phone calls are not working, they move to the final stage, which is formal litigation. They file a civil lawsuit against you, and you receive a formal subpoena in the mail demanding you appear in court. Since your mindset is still stuck in a video game, you throw the official document in the trash, assuming it is just another empty scare tactic. This is your fatal mistake, because ignoring a judge leads to a legal term called a default judgment, meaning the agency automatically wins the case simply because you failed to show up and defend yourself. With a default judgment, the agency can now legally garnish your future wages directly from your paycheck or completely freeze your bank accounts. But because you explicitly disrespected the court process, the judge can also issue a bench warrant for your arrest for contempt of court. Now, you are officially a wanted fugitive over a gaming computer, but the SWAT team is not going to kick down your door because police do not waste active resources hunting down minor civil debtors. For a general understanding of the law in the United States, you cannot go to prison simply for being broke and owing money to a bank, but because you took that loan with zero intention of ever paying it back, that is legally classified as bank fraud or theft by deception. Depending on the state, stealing anything over $1,000 instantly turns your case from a minor misdemeanor into a serious felony, which can easily get you anywhere from 1 to 5 years in a state prison, depending on the exact amount. And if the federal government gets involved for defrauding a major national bank, the maximum penalty can actually reach up to 30 years behind bars and a $1 million fine. So months go by, you relax, you think you finally beat the system, and you completely forget about the debt until one random night you are walking to the store and decide to jaywalk across an empty street. A patrol car sees you, and the officer stops you just to issue a basic warning. He runs your ID through the national database, expecting a clean record, but instead his system flashes red, flagging your active bench warrant. You try to panic and explain that it is just a misunderstanding over a computer loan, but the police do not care about the context of a warrant, they just execute it. You are thrown into the back of a police cruiser and taken to a county jail where you are strip searched and locked in a concrete cell with actual violent criminals. The bank does not care what you needed the loan for, because money is money, and the banking system was invented long before you were born, so they do not fall for these mistakes. I would be super grateful if you hit the like button and share this with your friends, but most importantly, always learn from the mistakes of others.